Now we're starting to get the carburettor apart. There's one last piece that we need to look at, and that is the wheel on the top here that adjusts your mixture when your engine's running. You will need to alter this a lot when the engine is running, to start it up and to get it to run smoothly, so it's important that this works well. Now the problem with this wheel is we have to unscrew it basically and unscrew the valve. Now there is a little bit of metal that is pushed in here to form a stop on the underside of the wheel, and the stop, when you turn it, comes up against a spring-loaded pin just here. This spring-loaded pin in there. I don't know if you can see that. If I hold it up to the light, you can see that spring-loaded pin in there on the right-hand side. Basically, what you have to do is turn the wheel, and as you're turning it, hold that pin down with a flat-bladed screwdriver underneath. I've got one of these little tap remover things, which I find very good for doing it, because you can get that in there like that and just hold that pin down as you turn the wheel, like so, like that. You can see that pin going down there. A tip, if your carb is seized up like this one is, don't push that pin all the way in. Just push it down far enough to clear that stop on the wheel, because if you push it all the way in, chances are it will stick there and you'll never get it out again, and we want to get it out, clean it up and grease it up and things. So just press it down as far as you need, probably about that far, and obviously each turn to unscrew the wheel you'll have to press that pin down a little bit more, a little bit less rather. So if I start to unscrew it there, and it's difficult doing it one-handed obviously, but you just press the pin down when you get to the stop, which is here, and spin it round again a couple of times, and you won't have to press the pin anymore, and that will come out. And with the magic of editing, we can have the thing suddenly undone like so, and just keep spinning the wheel, and there is the needle part of the valve. I don't know if I can get that in focus, but there it is. It's a little bit rusty, as you can see. That will need cleaning up a bit. The key is make sure this needle hasn't got any grooves in it where it's been wound down too tightly onto the valve seat. Also, don't worry about setting this up again for how many turns you've got to put on there. I'll come to all that later. This little pin now should pop straight out, and there is a spring underneath it. In this case it's coming out with the pin, but it's not attached to it. Obviously, if your carb is freer than this one, be careful you don't lose it. You don't just pop out when you undo the wheel. But there's your little springy piece, and that is the carb now fairly dismantled. You'll see that I've put the little machine screw things back in the bottom of there, just so I don't lose them. This brass bit, which is basically the seat of the valve, these are very difficult to get off, and I don't tend to remove them unless I absolutely need to. You should be able to clean the valve out without having to take that off. The other thing that I've done since you last saw is I've made the butterfly work. Now it still needs a bit more lubrication, but you can now see that works properly. I don't know if you can see the butterfly down there, you probably can't, but that's opening and closing. So that basically is the carburettor dismantled. What I will now do at this stage is put the carb in the vise and give it a good clean up.